Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Podcasting Raw Nerdy. You're here with DatNerdADC and Brandon2K,
What's happening, nerds?
and we're going to let you in on the know of everything going on in nerd culture right now. So, what's blowing up our Twitter? You hear that, Elon Musk? I said Twitter. So, our first story of the night. RDJ clarifies Victor Von Doom role to Hollywood Reporter. He said, the Hollywood Reporter, that he is not a Tony Stark variant. He is, in fact, Victor Doom. That's good news, in my opinion.
Did we have to do it 2 whole years, maybe almost 2.5 years before he even shows up? Could we not have a little bit of mystery? Could we have a little bit of suspense? Could we have waited a while to drop that, RDJ? Probably. But he probably had permission to drop that so that everyone can stop whining and don't get me wrong, you brought up a good point. Because of everything that happened with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie and everything else, heck, even the Loki situation kind of threw everything into question because they all don't look alike. It is literally RDJ going to be Victor Von Doom. But I also think this might solidify your theory about messing up his face from not showing his face, especially not in the first movie.
I still believe they're going to need to do something there because RDJ is symbolic with Tony Stark. That's what people see. He built a career out of it, right? A comic book career out of it.
So, don't think
So,
of him as Dr. Doolittle?
hell no. But no, so
Eddie Murphy.
RDJ version of Dr. Doolittle was trash. I'm sorry.
It was
But
yeah.
I'm gonna see him on the screen as Tony Stark, whether they call him Tony Stark or not. So they're gonna have to do something to get me out of that. I think this is a step in the right direction. I mean, create that divide, create that distance, but kind
Hey,
of waiting.
they could do the nose prosthetic like they did on Chris Hemsworth, so it didn't look like Thor in the Furiosa movie. So you never know what they could do.
Gonna be an interesting one.
It'll be
But
very.
somebody who's trying to hop on this Victor Von Doom RDJ train is Miss Dominique herself, our Ironheart, wants to fight Robert Downey Jr.
I don't know if she's even going to end up playing Ironheart with everything that's been going on with all the recasting, everything, the rumblings. I haven't heard any news about Ironheart. Everyone's so worried about Doomsday, but you guys got to realize we still have Armor Wars and the Ironheart movie supposed to be coming out. I think it was 25, 26 and 27 or 25 and 26. Where's the hype and rumors behind all of that? Like, are we just stuck behind this giant wall of RDJ? Like, it just drives me nuts because I've gone scraping through everything I can get through to find any kind of news about the Armor Wars or the Ironheart movie. I've heard nothing. No casting, no script writing. I don't even think there's a director up for it right now. So don't get me wrong, I'd love to see it, but we gotta get those movies out of the way too.
I think she's definitely a player on the chessboard, but she is a pawn that they don't want to move yet, and they may move at the last minute.
I've also heard Young Avengers is canceled though. So where I'm sitting here, that was the in right there to get her. Well, don't get me wrong, Armor Wars is going to be a big part, but it sounds like that movie isn't going to be. It may move some chess pieces, like you said, move some chess pieces on the board. It sounds like those movies are afterthoughts at this point right now because of everybody thinking about Brave New World's coming, but then we have this whole section of the phase and we're talking about Doomsday. So
yeah, it seems like Ironheart is definitely, if it's not totally done, it's very much in the back of their minds right now with everything else that they're having to worry about. But I totally see where you're coming from. I totally agree with that. You don't really see much of her in Ironheart, besides Black Panther 2, you got a little bit of it. So I can't really speak too much about how she is ultimately going to do in the role. But from the little bit I saw of it, she does seem like a good actress that you don't want to get rid of.
she was definitely great. She was definitely great.
So I'll be interested to see what they end up doing with her. Maybe they recast her as something else because they never actually said the word Ironheart, I don't think, in Black Panther 2.
I have to go back and look at my Easter eggs, but I think there might have been an indicator of them in the files of her design when they were going through it. But I'm going to have to relook. But you are right. It was not outright said this is the Ironheart suit. We just know that Riri Williams is Ironheart and this is the character.
Marvel has deflected a couple of times in their movies, so they could definitely be like, oh, not in this universe, she's not. So we'll see what goes on there.
Exactly. Like they weren't on that Earth at this point.
What would be fantastic though?
What's that?
What is fantastic is Fantastic Four set photos. So in the Fantastic Four set photos, don't give me that look. Transitions are on point. Sue Storm is holding a baby. Now, us nerds, it's obvious what baby this is, right? It's obviously what the name of the baby. It's Franklin, right? It's Frank Richards.
It's gotta be.
So what does this mean? Is it a nod to the camera that's never going to be addressed again? Or are they including baby Franklin in here for a reason?
I hate that Marvel has enough of those, oh, we're just going to dangle it out in front of you and then never talk about it again. Things that I can't tell you. I couldn't tell you. But as we were talking about off camera, this is supposed to be set in the 60s, Jetson style. What happens when they jump into a portal and don't come back for their kid? And what if that world they leave the world because something bad's happening, or who knows? But Franklin Richards is a huge part of what the Fantastic Four becomes in the future. I could see them using that as a way of replacing Kang. If you guys are in your books, you guys know Franklin Richards and Kang have a relationship. I'm not going to ruin it for the casuals here, but that presents a whole other can of worms for the long game of Kevin Feige. And I kind of said something about that in another episode, maybe 2 episodes ago. The man is out here. He's not even playing chess. You guys have seen Big Bang Theory. This man's out here playing 3D chess. It's going to be interesting to see, because that set photo got me really, really excited for the Fantastic Four movie. And I have not near enough interest in the Fantastic Four movie.
I don't either.
It's just sad.
Just because I feel like you're going to do it with the X-Men and Fantastic Four, but more so the X-Men, but even Fantastic Four. You're going to have to do a lot of mental gymnastics to get me to where I'm accepting of them in the MCU, because you haven't built the MCU for me to accept that.
It's a capsule. It's very much a tight capsule, and when they try to expand it, bad things happen.
Especially X-Men's a different story, and that's in the story for another day. But X-Men, there's going to be a ton of mental gymnastics to get me to be, why now mutants? Why do they exist now? Why weren't they? You're gonna have to me, like, there's no way they're gonna do it where they're not gonna be like, you're just gonna have to accept it, man. Like,
no. That's the cool part. Is like, don't get me wrong, you're 100% right on the mental gymnastics, but Marvel has so many like back doors to every character. So, and they've kind of integrated them into the movies to where like the after credit scenes can be absolutely essential. We saw it with the first Avenger movies with the fine, I'll do it myself. Of course, they completely butchered the character design from there to there. It was a whole different shade of purple, but it's okay. That scene with Monica Rambeau. No, not Monica Rambeau, her daughter.
I know what you're saying. And Beast, and yeah. But even that, I was kind of like, okay. Like,
but to make that a significant moment, they go, boom. You didn't even know what universe you're in. Now you do. And we're like, you just crammed us in a box, Marvel. You just crammed us in a box.
So I'm interested to see what they do here, and there's ways you can do it, but it's going to take a lot. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but I think Marvel fans are willing to accept anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to take much for them to accept it. But I think the common moviegoer, the casual person, is who you're going to have to be able to explain this to. And that is going to be the struggle for them, in my opinion.
I feel like this phase 4 is going to be deep it has to be deep in the source material for them to be able to just do what they're going to do. And I don't know if they've got it in them. I don't know if they got it in them.
You know who does have it in them? James Gunn. James Gunn has announced that Superman has wrapped production.
This man's going to be shooting this movie, doing reshoots. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The man's notorious for not changing what he wants to do, but how he wants to shoot it.
James Gunn is telling you not to worry, my friend. James Gunn says he's not built like us. James Gunn says there's no need to fix it in post. He's not like your Johnny come lately director. He's not like your Russo brothers. He knows what
You're right. He's not.
he knows what he is doing. There's no need to fix it in post. He looks at the VFX team and is like, we got your back, bro. We got your back. Marvel don't got VFX's back. They give him like 3 months to fix shit. And he has a point here. Like his style does make sense. He basically said in an interview, I believe it was with the Hollywood Reporter as well. He said that a lot of times people are rushing against the clock, and that really hurts the VFX team when you're talking about big productions and big comic book movies. So he said he's like, I don't like to do that to them. He's like, so I demand that when we start shooting, that it is the final script. That they don't have to go back and Shrek Superman it up, for instance, like that everything is how it should be and ready for the VFX team to work on. That's why it's wrapped so soon, incomparable with other movies. Is he said he wants to allow plenty of time for VFX team to do their thing, and I think you gotta applaud that.
I mean, we definitely saw what happens when you rush a VFX team last time with Deadpool Wolverine, because now hearing that makes me go back and look at other movies, and you can tell detail wise and time wise what they were able to do. Do I think this man's going to see something after the visual effects teams gets it together and then go, oh wait, I want a different way? Yes. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, so allow the time for that to happen. I guess that's the main
and I think if he did do that, and there's going to be plenty of time to do that, the man's a genius because people will continue to work with him, and the good ones stick around. If you don't treat people properly, Jujutsu Kaisen animators and people in charge of Jujutsu Kaisen animation, if you don't treat them right, it's not going to come out the way you want it, and then you're going to have to hire some plebs, and plebs don't do. They just don't. They just don't. So, kudos for James Gunn. I hope there's not too many things to reshoot after video effects gets their hands on it. Yeah, it's cool that he does that for that because it does create, I think you're right, a better product. So
we'll see where that goes, and hopefully they keep that mentality for now and forever.
And hopefully they keep them hydrated.
Yeah, I am getting a little parched.
I've been sipping my locker room all day.
Yeah, thank you. Everybody needs a hydration break, and my hydration break is sponsored by the locker room.
Let me get
it. More on that a little bit later. If you're a WWE fan, you'll be interested to know that Randy Orton wanted to pay cable.
That would have been so good if Josh Brolin didn't kill it, though. Like, don't get me wrong. Randy Orton, okay, when he's done with WWE, or even before he's done, he needs better movies. He needs a shot. Movie executives, this man deserves a shot. Like, don't get me wrong, I see where you went there with Brolin. You can't really. There's not much you can do better than what he did for that cable. But Randy Orton is one of those types of people. He would have been a great cable. Brolin's definitely. I'm sorry, but Brolin's better. There's got to be somewhere this man fits in the Hollywood scene because he is so damn good at what he does.
Yeah, he is.
Especially between telling a story and everything else, but like he's just damn good at what he does. He works hard.
Especially as a heel. Like Randy Orton as a heel is great. Like he can play a bad guy to a T. And he just has the look of a movie star. Like I would say more so than like a John Cena. Like I think a Randy Orton, given acting classes and stuff like that, could do some big things in Hollywood.
With the John Cena thing, I think Thugonomics John Cena, I see that with, but nowadays he is so like mellowed down his look a little bit. He's still like, you know what I mean? Like with John Cena, he's just like, you know what I mean? But like he was supposed to be a good guy. He was so freaking huge. He was like almost a natural bad guy just with the look. And Randy's just huge, but like evil huge. I don't know why. I get those vibes from him, but he definitely throws the bad guy huge vibes at me.
Where all the acting has done has been like WWE film productions, which are trash. But
Like, don't get me wrong, they try over there. They
yeah,
try over there, but
you know, all those movies that they make pretty much. I think the exception would be Fighting for My Family was a decent movie. The Page story.
that's because a bunch of people were working with him, though.
Yeah. But
That's why.
That's really the only movie that I could think of that had WWE's production team behind it that was like
A couple other horror movies were okay, but that's
See No Evil, I guess.
yeah. You know, yeah.
With Kane, but
That's
most
what 25 years ago now.
yeah.
Jeez.
What is going on in the video game world?
If you guys are watching this and have played Son Wukong, drop it in the comments. Talk about it. Everything. It's everywhere right now. Basically, not only because this is an ancient Chinese story, this is the story that Akira Toriyama based Goku off of. If everything from the power pole to the Saiyans being monkeys, and Son Goku translates back to Son Wukong. So it's very cool. Very much God of War meets Dead Souls type thing for me. It's very beautifully animated. It's very creatively done. It's a masterpiece. It looks so good. Combat feels good. Everything's great on it. The only complaint I've heard, it's not hard enough.
Mm.
I've heard a few people say it's not hard enough. I've heard people say it's all right. I've not heard it being said it's too hard. Which in this day and age right now of Elden Ring, the DLCs, Soulborn games, it's got to be difficult. But from what I've seen, it's a solid release. It doesn't quite feel like the same hype of like a groundbreaking game because it's not necessarily a new thing in the genre, you know. It's a different type of story, but it's definitely not like a groundbreaking installment in the genre. It's in the wheelhouse. But all that said, it's a great game. We got a bunch of sports games coming out. You guys know that college football took over my life for a little bit. It's kind of backed off. Thank you. Taking its foot off, you know, the neck for a while. I was able to, right? No, we haven't talked about MK in a while. We're not going there. I could. I'm not going to yet. But I was able to take my college football player into Madden. Madden is garbage. If you want to play football, play college football. Don't get me wrong. I've never liked Madden. I've liked Madden back in the day, but I don't like it now. The one game that Brandon2K gets the most excited for, I may or may not skip this year. I haven't decided yet. Depending on what I see, what I get my hands on, I may not touch 2K until later this year.
Coming from Brandon2K.
And this is coming from Brandon2K. Don't get me wrong. It's the next installment. I want to play with my boys. But there's better games out right now. FIFA 2K will be dropping soon as well. EAFC 25. I've been in the closed beta for about a week now. It's really good. It's really good. I don't know if I'm gonna get to 2K for day one. I don't know. We'll see. Probably, but I don't know. But if you guys want me to, if you guys say, you know, screw that, go get 2K, drop it in the comments. Let me know what games you guys are looking forward to. Tell me what you guys think of Son Wukong, because honestly, I want to hear some more opinions. Because I'm getting a lot of positive reviews, but I want to hear what you guys think. Like, I want some critical thinking on it. Also, another thing, I'm just gonna cut a promo here. I'm not gonna go off, but I saw something that really upset me today. IGN dropped a top 10 fighting game list in 2023 and then updated it in 2024, January 2024. Street Fighter 2 was not on that list. Soul Calibur 2 or 3 or any of those games were not on that list. wrong, this is kind of a stretch, but like a lot of people can include these games on there. Super Smash Brothers did not make the top 10 list. Tekken 3 made the list.
You're about to tell me MK1 made the list.
Mortal Kombat 2011 made the list at top 10, at number 10.
Respectful, yeah.
Mortal Kombat, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is the reason every game got made.
It is.
Every single one. Hold on. Let me grab that list real quick. I posted it to my Twitter and was like, IGN, if you need actual gamers to come write for you again, I have time for you.
I mean, at least they included a Mortal Kombat game, right? If they included arguably the wrong one.
I said, IGN, when you are ready to have actual gamers, not friggin' journalists who think they know what they're talking about, write for you, give me a call. This was shambles. Capital shambles. Hashtag shambles list. And I'm ashamed of you. Okay, hold on. I'll click on this and I'll fast forward to the end. I'm gonna name this list and I'm gonna watch your reaction. You tell me. Like, I know I'm the gamer. Listen to this. At number 10, Mortal Kombat 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, Skullgirls. I'm just gonna let that one sink in.
Okay.
Number 8, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown.
Okay, you can just stop now. Stop.
Number 7, Killer Instinct Xbox One.
Fuck you. Stop, dude.
Number 6, Ultimate Mortal Kombat or Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was better leaps and bounds. Sorry. Number 5, King of Fighters 13. Number 4, Dragon Ball FighterZ. If you're going to sit here and tell me that Dragon Ball FighterZ was better than Budokai Tenkaichi 3, overall, and don't get me wrong, I might be an old head. I might be like completely off my rocker here. Talk about it in the comments for me. We'll link the video too. Number 3, Tekken 7. Tekken 3 was the best Tekken of all time, period.
Was this list AI generated?
This is IGN.
Okay.
This is IGN. This is the magazine. International Gaming Network. I don't know. I don't even know what IGN stands for. Number 2, Guilty Gear Strive. Don't get me wrong. It's a solid fighting game. Solid fighting game. But number 2 ever? Number 1, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike.
I'm a dirty casual, and even I could tell you this. That list is fucked.
It's like an 8-year-old threw darts at a board of fighting games and like landed on these things.
Like you, we're the same age demographic.
Yep.
And part of me was like, well, is this written by like a Gen Zer?
Yeah.
Like somebody like who doesn't really have the appreciation as we might for some of those older games you mentioned that should have surpassed these on the list. And part of me is like, maybe that's what's going on here.
I'm pretty sure Skullgirls is Skullgirls is like that 2D. Think Cuphead if it was a fighter game, but it had like goofy like girl characters on it.
Right. Like I've heard of it, never played it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I had never heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Cult classic. Don't get me wrong. I understand, but like, don't type in Skullgirls in your Google chat. There's a reason that it made the list. It wasn't for its merit as a fighting game. There's Mortal Kombat games that deserve to be on that list more than some of those, and you know how I feel about Mortal Kombat. But like putting Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on there, not 2. Street Fighter 3, not Street Fighter 2 or Turbo. What the hell, IGN? But we let them get away with that type of journalism, guys. We let them get away with it. Nobody calls them out, really. I mean, the video, obviously, they basically, the video was them trying to guess what the top 10 was. And they listed 20 games before they got to 5 that they got put on the list. Like, these guys are legit. They got Super Metroid and Soul Calibur 2 on the wall. They know what they're talking about. Shame on you, IGN. Shame on you. And that's my video game corner.
You know who also knows what they're talking about when it comes to gaming? Our pals over at XP League.
XP Professional Gaming League for your kids 6 to 18. Make sure you guys check out the link down below. They not only host camps, they not only host. Not only do you get a free coaching session for your first one, but you guys, if you want to get better and take your esports game to the next level, let the people call. So make sure you call my boy over there and just, oh my gosh, just run to your nearest XP. This is not just a Wichita thing, it is nationwide, but we are definitely shouting out XP Northwest Wichita with our boy Cody. Make sure you guys check him out. They hit third in Nationals Apex, I believe.
Yeah.
They haven't even
Orlando.
Yeah, they have to go play at our Universal Studios. But man, like they've been open, like it's only been a year. They've only been in Wichita for a year. Like that's just awesome. So make sure you guys check them out. Cody down, not down. Well, it's down to some people. Anyway, down here, Wichita, Northwest Wichita. Check them out, XP League.
And also, while you're doing that, for your electronic needs, you can check out Elite Electronics as well.
Anything that you need repaired, I had an Xbox Series X repaired by them. Computers, anything electric, any electronics, they will take care of you over there at Elite Electronics. Brett and our boy Jairus over there takes care of. They're just good at what they do, guys. They're just so good at what they do. Just if you have anything you need revived, even if it's anything from an old 64 that you got sitting back that you have no idea, how long it's been down, or say you got a cell phone issue, hop over there. They took care of you.
Take very good care of you. Now let's talk about a little niche that I know a lot about. Let's get into Wrestling Corner. Speaking of some Codys. And the first thing I want to mention, I know we're a little late on this, probably about a week or two, depending on when you're watching this, but Rosemary recently appeared in NXT, and that was a pretty big get. I still feel like we're somewhat lopsided here. Rosemary is a very big as far as TNA people. TNA gave you Jordan Grace. Now Rosemary, Joe Hendry, the Rascals. And we get Gallus and No Corner Catch Crew.
No corner, yep. It just goes to show you who the bigger promotion is.
Oh, we also recently got the one that everybody forgets his name in Chase U Academy.
Yep.
He recently showed up.
Yep.
It wasn't Andre Chase. It wasn't like one of the main people.
No.
But I even with Gallus, we got Wolfgang.
Yeah.
More of that for another day. But a lot has happened in AEW recently. We're at the time of this recording, we're coming off of All In, and a lot of Tony Khan, I gotta hand it to you. You did pull out some stocks at All In. Let's get into what happened at All In.
Nah, he's got enough money to do that though.
Ricochet has signed with AEW and has debuted at All In. It's a pretty big get. My worry, and we've discussed this a lot in the past with your likes of Will Ospreay's.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you do with him?
How many big names are you going to sign, Tony? Don't get me wrong. You got a nice little stable. Nice stable of solid wrestling talent. But time has shown this man does not know how to use them. How do you have CM Punk? How do you have CM Punk in your hands? How do you have Will Ospreay in your hands? And with CM Punk, that wasn't entirely Tony's fault because CM Punk's. But this whole Will Ospreay, I'm gonna hurt people, bully is not the same. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but especially with Brock, I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But mismanagement of talent. We don't see moments in the AEW anymore. We see great matches. I think we're seeing some better matches out of them lately. But we're still waiting on the moments.
It really also surprises me that he can use the. I think they spelled it different. I don't remember. I don't recall. But it does surprise me that he's able to use Ricochet, because Ricochet was a WWE name.
Yep.
On the Indies, he was King Puma.
Yep.
Mainly. So I'm interested there or how that worked. But unless something got worked out there, or I'm assuming they probably just spelled it slightly different.
No.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, we'll see how Ricochet's run in AEW works. Surprised, Samantha Irvin didn't follow him, but she probably has a nice cushy job with the WWE. Being the voice, Chelsea Green. Um,
Hmm.
so interested to see what happens there. But you're saying it's spelled the same?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The guy is a jobber. The guy is amazing. He's so good. Like I think we talked about this when we knew he possibly could be a free agent. His matches with Will Ospreay were legendary
Yeah, yeah.
in the Indies.
And I'm pretty sure they're probably going to reunite that feud at some time.
Can they? And allow them to do what they did in the Indies.
Hmm.
You think so?
Not to the level. This guy's both they're different people than they were then, and we're talking about age does some things.
You see what he did with Logan Paul, though?
you know, I'm not saying Ricochet couldn't probably do what he
Oh
still
no!
did then.
I'm telling you right now, the only thing holding back Will Ospreay is Tony Khan. Will Ospreay is a unit. The man is back in the States almost primarily. Don't get me wrong. I know he's training in the UK, but he's eating American food right now, and he hasn't gained a pound. And after seeing what happened to the Young Bucks and a few other talents that had to, don't get me wrong. I know I'm a big boy. I'm not over here fat shaming nobody. But when you're a professional athlete, like I'm talking the likes of like oh gosh, if you don't take care of your body, you cannot perform at the level you need to. And I am telling you now, and I'm not the only one, i.e. Kevin Nash and a few others have noticed that with the Young Bucks, they aren't taking care of their bodies as much as they used to, and it's showing in the product. So what I'm saying is Will Ospreay looks the part right now. If they can do it, and they got to strike while the iron's hot. They have to. They have no choice. Because you're right, age is a factor. I think Ricochet and Ospreay are on that cusp of if they could age out of all of that stuff they're doing. How long they've been doing it on top of how old they are. But they got to strike while the iron's hot. And the only thing the AEW has going for Ricochet right now is the wave he's coming off of with WWE, which is very, very small because they got him at the low point of his popularity at WWE.
One big problem with Ricochet is I believe like his mic skills are very subpar.
Yes, he would be a
So
2 on the promo skill.
yeah, like if you're, I think he actually is in WWE 2K. But like I think you need to give him somebody or like really
Like
let
a
him.
manager, you don't think he could develop if they let him try to like and develop it?
I think it would take a lot of time.
I think AEW's got time at this point.
He's just not natural on the mic. He's great in the ring, but he's just not natural on the mic.
It's
Um,
typical.
so potentially, like if they bring in MVP and Bobby Lashley, and they're talking about reforming like a form of the Hurt Business, that somebody could be MVP.
It did get I think there was a patent or not patent, a trademark filed for Hurt Syndicate. I think we talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So I could see like Ricochet. Maybe you put MVP as his mouthpiece and you throw him into that stable, something like that. Um,
Yeah, you got Thunder and Lightning a little bit there.
yeah.
That'd be dope. Actually, that's a good call.
I think like you don't even need it. Like they should have really just went with like the Beatdown Clan, which what they were called in Impact. I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The days of cornball names, like when they could actually work, I think those are long gone. This whole like Terror Twins and like I don't know what they're gonna name the new. Oh gosh, I've already forgotten because Rhea's not in there.
Street Trash.
Judgment Day or whatever.
Yeah, Street Trash.
Yeah.
But no, I wish all the best for Ricochet. I would
Yeah.
definitely be watching his matches. He's a
Talent.
beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Absolutely.
Speaking of a beast, and was very shocking to a lot of people, was Nigel McGuinness making an in-ring return at All In and competing in the Casino Gauntlet, the same Casino Gauntlet that Ricochet made his debut in. A lot of people, he was one of those people that a lot of people thought were permanently retired because of I think neck issues or something to that effect. And so him showing up and competing was a really big deal. I don't know if this is a one-off or not, or if he's going to transition from being a commentator in AEW to being an in-ring competitor. I remember in the early stages of TNA, he was Desmond Wolfe, and he was a beast. He had a very great feud with Kurt Angle. The guy can go. So I'm interested to see where this goes, if it was a one-off or not.
I think with it being the UK Wembley, I think that was.
I think that was a big part of it.
I
That
think
was a
I think
huge
that's a
part of it.
good. Yeah, I
That was a
think that's
huge part of it.
and it was a good pop for him. I think it was a good way to send him off. I don't see that being a long-term return. They don't need him. They don't need him.
No, they don't. But
So I
as
don't. I
far as
don't
like,
see it fitting in.
as far as like to know that he can go, there's things you can do with that. So like if you needed like a legend or a veteran for like somebody to get heat off of and to beat up, and that leads to a match or something like that, at least you know that Nigel McGuinness can be that person. Similar to when Samoa Joe was on commentary in WWE and Seth Rollins got in his face, and you're like, oh, is this something going to happen here? Knowing that you have a commentator who could beat your ass that could beat somebody's ass is kind of a cool dynamic, you know.
It's
So
also cool to have him beat up a little. Sorry, in the middle of us talking about AEW, we'll see in a few months. Pat McAfee, I'll see you on game day, but Pat McAfee off the commentator stand for just a little bit.
trash.
Colt Forge, baby, Colt Forge.
Jimmy Hayter also returned to AEW. So that was a big one as well. So there was a lot of players put back on the chessboard at All In. It's almost like they all got hurt around the same time. Imagine that. And now they're on their way back. Next to Jamie Hayter, Sting appeared at All In and saved Darby Allin from the Elite.
Did he though?
Yeah, well, he hobbled. And then and Daniel Garcia also appeared at All In, and Tony Khan will not come.
Go back. I got a question, sir.
Go for it.
Is Sting back?
I think once again it was one of those things that would just pop the Wembley crowd.
So he's not back.
I don't think so.
Cut in the Cornelius Fudge. He's not.
Because they made a big deal about his retirement. Remember?
Huge deal. This is another thing. Is I'm curious. I understand they wanted to pop at Wembley. And Sting's probably their best card to play.
Next to Nigel.
I think Sting's like 4 times. Like that's just like he's just a legend.
But hometown hero.
You're right. Why burn that card now? Was it just to like? Because it's not like they said, "Hey, Sting is making an appearance. Buy a ticket." You know,
no, they didn't promote it at all.
So what was the point? Because they didn't sell out, or they got really close but didn't. And that's been the issue for AEW for the past 3 years. They can't fill a stadium. Don't get me wrong, they did a really good job with All In, but they also, we talked about this off camera, alienated the whole UK side of things by not having an event all year, except for this one.
Yeah, screw you guys. We're going to Texas.
And then they're also pulling a lot of UK talent. Their main like stable that they can pull from is UK wrestling,
which is hot.
Don't get me wrong, it's producing, but like, why would you alienate your home basically, like where you can get your tickets sold, obviously, because you're not selling them here.
and there's a lot of hot upcoming talents on the state side too. Like, especially
who are they grabbing though?
Right. But especially like around Texas and stuff. I may be a little biased because that's a turf I know very, very well. But like Texas, Booker T's academy produces a lot of people. The Dudley Boys' academy produces a lot of people. Like
GCW's going crazy right now. They had JBL come through.
Oh yeah, JCW, yeah. So there's talent. I get how, you're looking for that next Will Ospreay and stuff like that, but as we mentioned before, Will Ospreay's they're diamond in the rough. They're hard to find a Will Ospreay. There's only one Will Ospreay.
I was like, time a dozen. Whoa. But there will never be another D'Lo Brown.
No one can do the, you know.
Don't
I
get me
love
started. I might have to cosplay as that mother
I
Halloween
love
this
D'Lo,
year.
man. D'Lo was awesome.
I saw a video of him at a convention. He is black don't crack. Black
No.
does not crack.
And he was for a little minute. I don't think he is anymore, but he was a producer for Impact. He was an agent.
Not anymore.
But D'Lo,
Hmm.
if you happen to be a fan of nerd culture and you happen to hear this, what are you up to, man? It'd be great to talk.
Sup? Speaking of talking, we're not gonna talk about that right now.
So Daniel Garcia also appeared at All In, and what's weird is in the press conference, one of the news outlets asked Tony Khan, so does that mean Daniel Garcia is back?
Nope.
And Tony Khan said no comment. Like, I don't want to comment on contract signings. To me, what that means is we threw a lot of money at Daniel Garcia,
And he didn't balk.
and he agreed to show up at Wembley for that payday, but it was like a one-time thing, and they're still talking,
I think they're gonna
talking
throw
at
some more
all.
money. You don't think they're talking?
I think they're talking, but I don't think Daniel Garcia is listening. I think
Where do you think the offer's coming from that he's not listening to AEW?
I think it's coming from WWE, similar to Ricky Stark. Wrestling is a close circle.
It is.
And Daniel Garcia, Ricky Stark, Cody Rhodes, MJF are all real close. And because of that, I'm pretty sure Cody is putting good words for these people. Cargill. All these people talk. I think it's one of those like, ooh, grass may be greener sort of things. If
Grass
WWE,
is most certainly greener. Better production. You actually sell tickets and you actually get paid and you actually get the notoriety.
and especially with that TNA partnership right now, I believe this opens a lot of doors right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could be like, we'll sign you to an NXT contract and lease you out the TNA, and your exposure is both fold. So while you're on your NXT run, you're able to appear across multiple different avenues and platforms. And I think that's going to appeal to a lot of these upcoming stars, your Ricky Starks, your Daniel Garcias. I think that a big, big bonus that WWE has in their corner that AEW don't.
Yeah, because their partnership with New Japan's pretty stale right now, right? It's just Forbidden Door, basically.
Right. So I could see Daniel Garcia being like, I could appear at NXT, I could appear at Impact, and
And
eventually
then TNA is also letting people go to like GCW and other stuff like that. So like, and the fact that JBL is appearing at GCW and stuff like that means because he's on Legends contract, right?
Yep.
So
that tells you something there too.
So that I think that's another thing we're going to hear a lot more about too. Is it's going to go WWE, TNA, GCW, and then up back and forth. Call people up. Hey, we need somebody to come in and fill in. Hey, we had somebody have travel issues. Somebody got sick. Who's available? Type stuff too.
I think Shanna Baszler recently appeared for them too, didn't she?
Yeah.
So like,
Io Sky too.
So that's what you're right, and that's
huge.
I can see as a talent, it's just like I could be here in AEW and be a face in the crowd, be lost in the shuffle, or I can go over here and have all these avenues.
Sell a lot of t-shirts.
And have all these avenues open to me, and eventually get called to the main roster. Like I do think there's some people that if they got signed with the WWE, they would totally skip NXT. MJF being one of them. Like if WWE ever got MJF, he would not have to go through the NXT.
I think he's never coming now. I think it's over and done with.
I don't think so either. But if they were able to get him, he'd go straight to the main roster. Ricky Stark is another potential one.
He's got to rein in his performances a little bit.
To me, Jade Cargill shouldn't have jumped to NXT. I think she needs polished. I can definitely see Daniel Garcia going to WWE. I think that may be what's happening here.
Yep.
Somebody who's sticking around in AEW though is Swerve Strickland.
Swerve,
Prince Nana, yeah.
So catchy.
So Swerve is sticking around in All Elite Wrestling. Not sure how long this deal is, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 years.
What?
At least 5 years.
Really? Damn. Swerve's another one that he would jump to main roster too. I think I don't. Well,
He already had a run. He was part of Hit Row.
yeah, but he didn't have like solo. Like I feel like he's developed a good character with Swerve.
Well, yeah, he's much different than he was when he was with Hit Row. Yeah, he has developed and proved that he can be a solo person.
That's the only thing that people had issues with him. Basically, is they didn't know if he could go solo. Didn't know if he had the mic skills for it and able to develop a story. The man could always wrestle. But I feel like his storytelling needed help.
But yeah, apparently it's like a 5-year deal.
That's insane. Big signing for, like, don't get me wrong, that's a big signing for AEW. Maintaining your top talent's always difficult, and that's kudos.
Swerve Strickland, MJF, I see those being really two big pillars in the modern era of AEW the next 5 years.
Looks like it.
But the face that runs the place is apparently Brian Danielson.
Not for long.
I don't think so either. I think this was made for strictly a pop, just to say that he won it. So I see him dropping it pretty quickly, probably the next pay-per-view, if not before that.
I think next pay-per-view is a good call for that.
Get a good like month run out of him and
build a story to make it seem like it wasn't an afterthought.
Probably MJF or Swerve or somebody will take it off him.
If they're smart, Will Ospreay, Ricochet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe make it a 3-way. Yeah, and Brian Danielson versus Will Ospreay versus Ricochet.
I think it'd be Swerve because didn't he? I mean, hidden weapon, hidden blade. I'm just saying. We'll see how it goes. But man, I think it's overdue. I think it's overdue for Ospreay now.
Yeah, I think Will Ospreay definitely is somebody you should bank on and should put the title on. He could definitely be one of your poster people next to MJF.
And it puts them on different trajectories. I think it would deter MJF from going after that title. I think holding on to the is it the American title, the North American title?
North American is NXT. But did AEW call it North American as well?
I think they changed it after he won it.
International.
It was international. Then he changed it because now it's all American flagged out. But like that, him changing the title makes it seem like he's going to be holding that forever. So why would you double belt him for no reason? This had to be the big championship. So
that's going to be interesting. I agree with you. This is not going to be a long run. Brian Danielson is very beat up. There's no way. He's so close to retirement. He probably can taste it. Like he probably
retirement can taste him at this point. It's about to eat him. It's about to eat him. When I heard this match was going to happen, I was like, oh, okay, it's just another way for them to show him the door. Then he won, and I was like, what are they doing? It's like a can of SpaghettiOs that got left out for 4 days, and also got a little crust happening on top.
He's definitely not the Brian Danielson he was. He has said in interviews, and hopefully he doesn't make a liar out of himself. He stated that he won't overstay his welcome, and I think he's starting to.
Didn't he? When he signed to AEW, I was like, people still want to see him.
That's what I'm getting at. Like him signed to AEW to me was overstaying his welcome. Like I think he should have retired peacefully and just been done. But like every month he stays in AEW, I feel like it's hurting his legacy, hurting his career.
He needs to go commentate the Ohio Valley Wrestling Company and just like, or go back to Canada and start ushering in the next generation, like everyone else of his generation is doing right now.
Or even become a manager in AEW or a commentator. But if you want to stick in AEW, you need another role besides active wrestler. I would dare not say manager because I don't believe Daniel Bryan's that good of a talker either. But commentary, some people gravitate to that and can do it, especially if you're talking about color commentary. But if he wants to stick around AEW, it's gonna have to be in a role like that.
He's got coach written all over him.
Or be a coach, yeah.
The only thing I've seen out of Daniel Bryan that made him interesting was his 5'11"ness. his like he was one of those wrestlers that made everybody believe they could do it. He was never like the freak athlete, oh my gosh, what's he doing? That's crazy. Same thing with Sami Zayn. I feel like he's like the everyman's wrestler. Like he's not super ripped or anything, but like it makes it believable that anybody can do it.
Heard this rumor that El Generico and Sami Zayn are the same person. I refuse to believe it. I'm joking. But let's pay them bills.
See, and you completely didn't get to use my segue. I set you up.
You did.
I set you up so good.
You know what the problem is, though? You know why I totally went over it? It's because I need some locker room in my mouth, in my system, to pick me up a little bit. This thing is boosting with energy.
These are turning into Marvel end credit scenes now. They're so important and so essential. They're some of the best parts.
This is boosting with so much energy that I needed in my life. So while I am getting some locker room in my mouth.
Pause. No Diddy. Whoa. Definitely no Diddy on that.
Talk to me a little about the new logo in our corner next to StreamYard.
You mean this one up here that has the lightning bolt, like electronics? Elite Electronics is your one-stop shop, not only for your small electronic, your video game console, your phone, your computer, but to protect your phone and other accessories. They also are an exclusive carrier of ZAG products, which are top of the line, guys. Top of the line products to protect your devices. Make sure you guys pop in there. They can take care of whatever you need. I had an Xbox. I say it every time, but man, it was incredible. Lightning struck my house twice. It surged through my Xbox Series X, and it got repaired, and I've been playing on it. It sat for a year. I was like, this thing's a brick. There's no way. But, you can't just throw out a $600 piece of equipment. So I went in and said, hey, what can you guys do? Well, we can't promise anything, but we're going to take a look at it, and we'll let you know. And boy, did they work their magic. It works just beautifully now. So big ups to Elite Electronics. Make sure you guys check out the links in the description to check them out. Also, one more amazing, wonderful, supportive group that we love to support back, XP Gaming League, Northwest Wichita. Big shout out to them. I'm going to say it probably every time. These guys went and got placed third in Apex nationally on the XP League in the first year of being in Wichita, guys. This is a nationwide conference / league all over the United States, and they went to Orlando for nationals and took third place. It was amazing. Our guy Cody over there, if you guys want to get a free coaching session, make sure you guys follow the link down below or look them up on Facebook, XP Gaming League Northwest Wichita. We love hearing all the cool stories out of that camp. Speaking of camps, they have summer camps, and they're even listed on the Parks and Rec for the locals to sign up for gaming stuff. So make sure you guys check them out. They got everything you could possibly want to know about esports. They got it. Ages 6 to 18, hit them up.
You know who else you should hit up?
Who's that?
StreamYard. You should hit up StreamYard, especially if you're interested in doing what we do here. If you're looking for
streaming games.
Or even streaming games. You can use it for whatever you want. But if you're looking for a great streaming platform that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to use and is also has a very low form of entry as far as like if you're not that much tech savvy, StreamYard will walk you through the process and hold your hand. And it's very, very simple. And it's also very, very simple if you're looking at a platform such as this one where you're a podcast and you want to interview people or there's multiple people on the screen. Very simple. You send them a link, they click on it, they're in a room with you. And you can set it so you have to let them in, similar to Zoom, or you can set it so they just click the link and they're in.
It's easier than Zoom. Guys, not having to have software, it's completely web-based. That's the cool part about it. For me, is you literally send somebody a link and they're in. There's no, oh, we'll make sure you have Zoom downloaded, or hey, make sure you're in at this specific time or you can't get in. None of that matters with StreamYard. It allows you to have a platform to push out a product, and I love it. I love it. We have an affiliate link down below. Make sure you guys click that. It is an affiliate link. It doesn't just help StreamYard. It helps us out as well. If you guys need help with that or have any questions, feel free to hit us up, and we will walk you through the process. Adrian, is there anything we missed?
Besides the fact that you save $10, man, if you use their service through our link.
And see, I'm usually the bargain hunter, man. Way to call that out. I completely forgot. Yeah, you save $10 using our link. It's not just helping us out; it's helping you out.
Sharing the love, and apparently that third leg from the locker room. With that said, I've been DatNerdADC. He's Brandon. He's Brandon2K. And we are your nerd culture podcast. We are the place you can come for all that nerdy goodness. And like I tell you every single episode, you got to do one thing for me. When that one thing is, you got to keep it nerdy, man. Keep it nerdy.
Make sure you check us out on all the platforms. Love you guys.